friends, seekers, and fellow travelers on this journey of life. Have you ever felt a knot in your stomach when you look at your bank account? Have you ever lay awake at night worrying about a bill, a debt, a job that doesn't seem to be enough? Have you ever looked at someone else's success and wondered, why not me? We have been taught to see money as a destination. We run on a treadmill, chasing a number, a job title, a certain lifestyle, believing that when we finally arrive, then we will be happy, then we will be secure. And work becomes the exhausting, often unfulfilling price we pay to get that money. But what if we have it all backwards? What if I told you that the very anxiety you feel is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of three things: money, work, and rizq? The concept of rizq can feel, at first encounter, like a distant theological idea, a comforting notion we pull out in times of financial distress. We say, my rizq is written, often with a sigh of resignation, as if we are consigning our fate to a random and unknowable force. But to see it only as a spiritual platitude is to miss its profound, practical, and utterly transformative power. To understand rizq is to fundamentally rewire your relationship with abundance, effort, and peace. It is to realize that your provision is not a finite pot of gold at the end of a competitive rainbow, but a guaranteed, ever-unfolding reality that is uniquely and perfectly tailored for you. Let's dismantle the first and most critical misunderstanding. Rizq is not synonymous with money. If we make that equation, the concept collapses under the weight of our worldly observations. We see good people struggling and questionable people thriving, and we think, where is the justice? Where is the guaranteed provision? This is because we are looking through a keyhole when we could be gazing at a panoramic vista. Rizq is the entire landscape of your sustenance. It is the salary, yes, but it is also the unexpected bonus that arrives at the perfect moment. It is the skill you master that opens a new door. It is the health that allows you to work and enjoy the fruits of your labor. It is the friendship that offers you a place to stay when you are in need. It is the idea that sparks in your mind, leading to a creation that serves others. It is the discounted grocery item you find just when your budget is tight, the free workshop that teaches you something invaluable, the stranger who offers you a kind word that lifts your spirit and gives you the strength to carry on. When you begin to see rizq in this expansive way, you stop fixating solely on the number in your bank account and start noticing the countless forms of wealth that flow into your life each day. This shift in perception is not merely positive thinking, it is a recalibration of your reality. You move from a state of lack, where you are perpetually missing one thing, money, to a state of abundance, where you are constantly receiving a multitude of provisions. This leads to the second profound aspect, the guaranteed nature of rizq. The belief that your sustenance is preordained is not a call to passivity, it is an invitation to profound trust. Think of it as a delivery that has already been dispatched to you. The package has your name on it. The universe's logistics are in motion. You cannot miss it. No one can intercept it and take it for themselves. Another person's success does not diminish your portion. Their abundance is their rizq, yours is yours, and yours alone waiting for you. This understanding eviscerates the poison of comparison. When you see a colleague get a promotion you wanted, instead of spiraling into jealousy and fear that you have been left behind, you can acknowledge that was their portion. It arrived for them. Your promotion, your next opportunity, is on its own unique trajectory to you. It may not look the same, it may be something even better suited to your path, but it is coming. This removes the desperate, clawing energy from our pursuit of success. We are no longer fighting the world for a scrap of a finite pie. We are each receiving our own individually prepared meal. This certainty allows you to operate from a place of inner security rather than outer lack. The anxiety that tightens your chest when you pay bills begins to loosen its grip. You start to understand that your responsibility is not to create the provision out of thin air through sheer force of will and worry, but to prepare yourself to receive what is already yours. But how does this reception occur? This is where the beautiful interplay between divine decree and human action comes into focus. Your rizq is guaranteed, but it is not going to fall into your lap while you lie in bed. The farmer knows the harvest is his rizq, but he also knows he must plow the field and sow the seeds. The rain and sunshine are from a power beyond him, but his effort is his sacred duty. Your effort is your plowing the field. It is the action you take to place yourself in the path of your blessing. You apply for the job, you develop the skill, you start the business, you network, you study. Not because these actions manufacture your rizq, but because they are the means through which the pre-existing rizq is delivered to you. The job you land was your rizq, and your act of applying was the vehicle for its arrival. This reframes the entire nature of effort. Work is no longer a desperate anxiety-ridden attempt to control an uncertain future. It becomes a focused, trusting, and dignified practice. You do your best not because you are terrified that if you don't, you will get nothing, but because you have faith that by doing your best, you are fulfilling your role in the receipt of your own abundance. You are being a trustworthy vessel. Finally, embracing rizq cultivates a deep and enduring state of gratitude. When you see every form of sustenance, from the air you breathe to the money you earn, as a personal provision, your heart softens. You move from a mindset of entitlement, where you feel you deserve more, to a mindset of gratitude, where you are constantly surprised and then thankful for what you receive. You begin to thank the universe for the small things, the functioning car, the delicious meal, the supportive friend. This gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion, it is a high energy state that magnetizes more abundance. It confirms that you are a receptive and appreciative vessel, and in doing so, it opens you up to receive even more. The cycle becomes self-reinforcing. You recognize your rizq, you feel gratitude, which expands your capacity to receive, which brings more rizq into your awareness. You break the toxic cycle of, I will be grateful when I have X, and instead live in the powerful reality of, I am grateful for what I have now, and I trust in what is to come. This is the ultimate change in how you see your life. You are no longer a beggar at the table of the universe, hoping for a scrap. You are an honored guest receiving a continuous, customized stream of sustenance designed specifically for your journey. Your only tasks are to trust the process, do your work with excellence, and keep your heart and hands open to receive. The modern world has conditioned us to see work as a transaction, a direct and linear equation where effort equals money out. We trade our time, our energy, our mental focus, and often a piece of our spirit for a paycheck. This transactional view is the source of immense existential dread. When work is merely the price we pay for survival, it becomes a prison sentence we serve in 8-hour shifts. We watch the clock, we live for the weekends, and we measure our lives in the dwindling days of annual leave. We feel that if we stop working, the entire fragile structure of our existence will collapse, because we believe we are the sole architects and laborers building it, brick by exhausting brick. This is the great lie of the transactional view, and it is this lie that the concept of rizq and the redefinition of work as a vehicle shatters completely. When we internalize the truth that our rizq, our total provision, is already guaranteed and flowing toward us from sources seen and unseen, the entire nature of work is transformed. It is demoted from being the source of our survival and promoted to being the vehicle for its delivery. This is not a semantic difference, it is a cosmological one. Think of your rizq as a vast river flowing relentlessly toward the ocean of your life. Your work is not the rain that creates the river. The river exists by a much greater design. Your work is the canal you dig, the channel you create, to guide that water to your fields, to your home, to your life. You are not creating the water, you are directing its flow. The farmer who understands this does not stare at the sky in paralyzing fear, begging for rain. He trusts that the rain will come, as it always has, in its own time and measure. His job is to ensure his irrigation channels are clear, his soil is fertile, and his fields are ready. His labor is an act of partnership with the forces of nature, not a desperate attempt to control them. This shift in perspective is the difference between slavery and stewardship. When you believe you are the source, every setback at work feels like a personal failure and a direct threat to your survival. A rejected proposal, a lost client, a critical comment from a boss, these become existential crises. Your heart pounds, your stress levels skyrocket because your entire sense of security is tied to the outcome of that single event. But when you see yourself as a steward, a manager of the rizq that is already yours, the emotional charge dissipates. The rejected proposal was simply not the channel through which your provision was meant to flow. It doesn't mean the river has dried up. It means you must look for another channel, perhaps a better one, that is more aligned with your true path. The lost client was not your rizq to hold on to. Their departure makes space for the client who is meant to be there. This mindset grants you a phenomenal emotional resilience. You can face professional challenges with a calm detachment, not because you don't care, but because you care from a place of trust, not fear. You can take calculated risks, speak your truth, and innovate creatively because the underlying foundation of your security is no longer your job title or your monthly salary, but the unshakable belief in a guaranteed provision. This then transforms the very quality of the work you do. If work is merely a transaction for money, then the goal is to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money. This leads to mediocrity, quiet quitting, and a deep soul-crushing sense of emptiness. But if work is a vehicle for receiving your rizq, then the quality of your vehicle matters. You would not try to receive a king in a rusty, broken-down cart. You would prepare a worthy vessel. Your work becomes that vessel. Excellence, then, is no longer a performance for external validation or a means to a promotion. It is an internal compulsion, a spiritual discipline. It is how you polish your vehicle, how you maintain it, how you ensure it is dignified and capable of carrying the blessings meant for it. You become focused on the intrinsic value of the work itself. Are you solving a real problem? Are you serving others with integrity? Are you using your God-given talents to their fullest potential? The act of doing good work becomes a reward in itself, a form of worship, a practice of ihsan, doing things with excellence and beauty because you know that you are, in fact, fulfilling a sacred trust. This principle extends directly to the concept of service. When you see yourself as the source of your provision, serving others can feel subservient, a necessary evil to get what you want. But when you understand that your work is a vehicle, serving others becomes the primary mechanism of that delivery. Every act of genuine service, of adding true value to another person's life, is another canal you dig toward the river of your rizq. The more value you create, the more channels you open, the more people you serve with integrity, the more pathways you establish for your sustenance to flow to you. This is the hidden law behind so-called overnight successes who have actually been serving diligently for years without recognition. They were not toiling in vain. They were building an entire network of irrigation channels. When the rain of opportunity finally came, it flooded their fields abundantly because they had built the capacity to receive it. Your network, your reputation for reliability, your portfolio of solved problems, these are not just career assets, they are the physical infrastructure of your receiving capacity. Ultimately, to see work as a vehicle is to reclaim your agency while surrendering the burden of control. You are 100% responsible for your effort, for showing up, for digging your channels with excellence and integrity. But you are 2% responsible for orchestrating the final outcome, for forcing the river to flow. You do not control the market, the economy, or the decisions of other people. You only control your own hands, your own heart, and your own intention. This is the most liberating paradox: absolute effort with absolute trust. You can work with ambition, but without anxiety. You can strive for goals, but without being attached to the specific form they take. You can pour your passion into a project, and if it fails, you can let it go with grace, knowing it was not the vessel destined to carry your rizq, and that a better one is already being prepared. Your work life ceases to be relentless. high stakes gamble and becomes a purposeful and even peaceful pilgrimage. You are not a beggar at the table of your career. You are a trusted custodian participating in a grand cosmic delivery system, one faithful effort at a time.